Alright, this is the last episode of the series, and you know what that means, right? We're changing the intro. I'm just kidding, we ain't gonna change the intro. We're gonna change the intro. Originally, I wasn't planning on getting another locker for this episode, but I kind of stumbled into another one. Although I did look at a couple of them and bid on a few of them, I really didn't have a whole lot of intention on getting any of them. I'd been really lax with getting stuff listed on eBay, and it really didn't make a whole lot of sense at trying to get any more stuff that I would have to turn around and figure out another place for it to go. No, but in all honesty, there were a few of these that kind of broke my heart in letting them go. But lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, I got contacted with a free locker. And all of y'all know that free is my kryptonite. However, I did break the cardinal rule and committed the unpardonable sin of storage units, which is letting your cleaning deposit go. However, though, I am confident that once you see this locker, you will sympathize with me and understand why. So we're stopping to grab something to eat. Got to go over here off of Greenville Highway and get another unit we picked up. This one was for free. I really ain't got a clue. But this 10 by 20 over here looks like it's something that came out of a house of a hoarder. So this may end up being a colossal cluster. It was free, and I know I said I'd never do it again, but I lied. Just found out exactly why we wound up getting this when two other people had bid on it. They never showed up. And then I guess the elderly woman that had it said that she got her taxes back and was going to be coming to get it, but she never showed up neither. So that's why we're in possession of it now. It is super cold today, so I picked another bad day to do this. Did not. Yeah, I think definitely I got into something more than I should have. Anyway, we got one load out of here, at least enough to where I can kind of start seeing what all we got. And the woman I spoke to that runs a thrift store right down the road said that they would take some of this stuff, but it is super windy today, and I don't think it is quite nice to the workers to force them to have to be out in it. So I'm going to try to get at least half of this over, and any of the stuff I'm keeping is going right into the truck. And hopefully by the end of the day, we can get it to where everything that's left in here goes to the thrift store or to the dump. Never ever would I suggest doing what I'm fixing to do, but at this point, I would just be feeding the beast for absolutely no reason. I'm going to be grabbing some of this stuff right through here, but there's so much more that it just does not make any sense to try to get. So I'm getting the stuff that I think I want or can flip pretty easy, and I'm just going to forfeit the cleaning deposit. I got everything back to the shop, and many of the items you'll see coming out of this locker showed me exactly what it was I didn't know. I am constantly learning new things doing this and finding out real quick how much it is that I don't know. Stuff that I would have normally just kind of let go or use for target practice turned out to sell faster than anything I've ever listed on eBay, which is kind of confusing to me. We had some, fairly crappy laptops in here, nothing really special. A whole little plastic tote full of shot glasses, which, once again, apparently there's a subculture for shot glasses and people who collect them. But there was an insane amount of glassware in the storage unit. So much so that I really had no idea what it was I was going to do with it. One of the more surprising items that I found in here, I guess it's more than one, there's a few, is sets of china. And I was initially kind of off put by the thought of even listing any kind of thing that would break on eBay, just because I don't want the headache of dealing with broken items and returns. But if you take just a little bit of extra care, a little bit of extra caution, this stuff will go pretty quick. I don't know. I have absolutely no use personally for glassware, but it appears that there are a lot of people who do. I'm just not one of them. I probably spent the most time on this locker researching stuff that came out of it. That wasn't my original goal. At the end of the day, I've got a little bit more working knowledge of what is actually out there and what people are willing to buy. The title of this last video is Hoarding, and there is a fine line between hoarding and collecting. Kind of tongue in cheek, but something else you got to kind of bear in mind is everything that was in this particular storage unit was somebody's entire house. Does it have a sentimental value to you? Or is it just keeping it to feel some sort of security? And I get that also, but there's only so many things you can keep. Ultimately, if you're not in this to find the diamonds in the rough, whether for your own personal collection or to make a couple of bucks off of, you're going to run out of room very quickly. And your relatives and neighbors are going to start questioning your sanity. I have no idea what that was. I'm not sure I can put a neat little bow on the end of this series and tie everything together. Because ultimately, everything at the end of the day is subjective no matter how objective we try to make it. This took a lot of work on your part watching it. Dealing with the crappy sound, the horrible editing, and the poor lighting at times. I'm trying to get better at what I'm doing. If you think that I've somehow gotten better over these episodes, please subscribe. That's the only way I can kind of grow this and justify continuing doing it much longer, at least to this level. Thank you. Take care. And God bless.
Fabulous.